The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that doing.
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
You've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population. This place absolutely outshines it.
It's Friday, the 29th day of May 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman. How's everyone feeling today? It is Friday. Someone says it's Friday. Some call it Sherry Day. Some people call it their favorite day of the week. For me, it's another day I get to engage with all of you, and I'm excited about that. How's everyone feeling today? This was a short week for many people. Yeah, this was a short week because, in the United States, there was a Memorial Day, and then, I hate to say it, but it's true. Many of you all called into work sick on Monday, all partied out from like the previous Friday and just the overall Bermuda Day weekend. Yeah. I'm not calling any names, but my eyes may tell a story if you're watching, not listening. But hopefully everyone had a wonderful week. It's not officially summer, but it's unofficially the start of summer. And folks, if the heat is, giving us vibes of what to look for going into the summer, it's going to be a hot one. Yeah, it's going to be hot. Because I've been, after the show yesterday, went down the Beltline for a little jog with my boy who's visiting, and I don't run in 80-degree weather. It's got to be like 75 max. And it's a different kind of, like, I don't know. People say, well, you're from Bermuda. You should be used to it. I don't go to summer day camp. I'm an adult. Anyway, big props and love to all those who work outdoors during the hot months. And it's not easy. I see you. You are appreciated. You are valued. And I hope that you are staying hydrated. I'll say that much. All right. Anyway, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Ywione Darrell back on from the Bermuda Journal of Academic Research. Yes, really looking forward to this conversation. They're doing some great work that all of us would do well to know about. They're also having something coming up in July. So please, I think we all should be engaging with the work and the that they are doing, especially. Now, the daily play is going to be things you should know. Yeah, things you should know. So we'll figure out what you don't know and then ask you what you think you should know. All right. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. We've got to have a conversation this morning, though, you all. Oh, good morning. James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour team show on this wet Friday, and a great morning to you, James. Hopefully all is well with you. But we've got to have a conversation. Got a discussion for you this morning. Yeah. Have you heard this before? Bermuda is boring. How about it's for the newlyweds and nearly dead? How about this one? No nightlife, nothing to do. Everything closes too early. Whether we agree with those statements or not, they have followed Bermuda for years. And I actually believe some of that criticism is exaggerated. If we're honest, there's actually a lot to do in Bermuda. Some of us just don't like to do the things that exist. Like, for instance, we have incredible beaches. I'm not a beach person, but there are many people who are. Many people who are. We have a rich history, whether your history is the Portuguese history, the British history, the West Indian Caribbean Black history. Bermuda has a lot of rich history. We have good food. Who else in the world can make raisin bread an attractive and tasty thing to eat with fried fish? For those who love it, we have some of the best golf in the world. A lot of water sports. Some say we're the rack diving capital of the world or the Atlantic. And we do have some really unique cultural events. We just came off of Bermuda Day, right? You may say everyone has a parade. We definitely do it differently. Hopefully, we won't be doing it as differently as it's been the last few years going forward. Obviously, the cock match festivities, the way we celebrate Good Friday, and we have some of the most beautiful scenery anywhere in the world. But if we're honest, there are also conversations that many Bermudians have been having for years. How do we inject more life into the island? What does that even look like? But also, are we actually willing to accept the changes that may come with it? Whenever this topic comes up, people immediately start mentioning things like casinos and nightclubs and adult entertainment, extended operating hours for retailers, and other attractions that are common in larger tourism destinations. But is that really what Bermuda needs? Or are we thinking too narrowly? Maybe pumping life into Bermuda isn't just about nightlife. Maybe it's about creating more experiences with live music or festivals, entertainment districts, cultural events, and more things for residents and visitors to do after the sun goes down. Here's something I think we often overlook. Tourists are not the only people looking for things to do. Bermudians are, especially young professionals, families, college students returning home. Everyone wants experiences. Everyone wants options. One of Bermuda's biggest challenges has always been balancing growth with tradition, innovation with community values, and entertainment with the kind of island we want Bermuda to remain. So balance isn't, always easy. But I also think we have to be careful not to reject every new idea simply because it's different. The world is changing. Tourism is changing. Consumer expectations are changing. And destinations all over the world are competing for attention and tourism dollars. Question: whether Bermuda needs more life, or what kind of life do we want? What kind of entertainment fits Bermuda? What kind of experiences can create energy without sacrificing who we are? So this morning's question: what can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? That's your question for the morning. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. But what can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? This is probably a question that we've asked for years and years and years. Give it some thought, share your thoughts, and we'll be back in a short bit.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
All right, audience, you heard the question. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. The question of the morning is, what can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? And here's your poll question. Do you believe Bermuda currently has enough to entertain visitors? That's 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you believe Bermuda currently has enough to entertain visitors? Well, let's go to the audience. We've got Charles H. Jefferson II says, I think those views are primarily that of Bermudians. Many visitors love Bermuda, hence why many return over and over. Okay. Fair. We've got Shawnette Sumner says, I agree that there's a lot to do in Bermuda for those who live here, repeated options, and seeing the same people there wear out. It's important to create one's own fun. Yeah, I've never bought into the idea that Bermuda is boring. But I'll give you an example. So I've got my boy visiting me from Bermuda this week, and everyone knows my top 3 things to do is try new restaurants, go to the gun range, and go on the Beltline. We did all of those things. We went to 2 different ranges this week. We went to the Beltline for a jog and walk yesterday, and we went out to eat last night. So those would be my top 3 things. No, I can't go to the range in Bermuda. I can't go to the Beltline. Now, I can try different restaurants in Bermuda. I just know that I have to save enough money to do that. My point in saying this, audience, my overall point is that we can choose our fun wherever we go, wherever we live. There are going to be different things available to us. For me, when I'm in Bermuda, I just love right now being around family and friends. And although my niece, my youngest one, is very energetic, I'll say it like that, she entertains me, so I love seeing her. And just family, like different things that we do. I love the way Bermudians celebrate holidays. I don't like to not be in Bermuda during holidays. I feel disconnected when I'm not there holidays. I feel like I'm missing something. And when I say missing something, missing being around the people who I am, celebrating the things that we love. Bermuda fish. Maybe I'm a fish snob, but I don't like to eat fried fish that's not, well, I'll put it this way. I don't like to eat fried fish in the United States of America. Florida, maybe. It was nice there. But there are certain things that I feel privileged as a Bermudian to enjoy while I'm there. Again, as I said earlier, we may eaten fried fish on raisin bread. Cool. Think about that. That's unique. I love the gumbays. I love just to hear the music and watch the dances. I love honey games and cot match. There's a lot to do and love about Bermuda. No, I'm not a beach person, but I love to go and fishing off the rocks. I love seeing the many people making videos of going fishing off the rocks. I love seeing children going swimming in the summer, jumping off, not necessarily diving, but, off out Amity House or North Shore. I think Bermuda has a lot to do. The way we get together during the summer and go out to our favorite beaches or parks and barbecue and play games as families and friends. And no, you don't see as many people camping as we once did, but that's still something that is so rich and our culture and tradition that I really enjoyed about being Bermudian. So again, the question, audience, what can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? What can we do? Do we need adult entertainment? I'm being serious, by the way, because people really believe, and a lot of Bermudians believe Bermuda is boring. And here's the thing. I'll give you this example. I remember when, when I tell people I lived in Florida, oh, it's so beautiful down there. Da, 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 da. Oh, I'd be at the beach every day. You wouldn't. There's a difference between visiting someplace and living someplace. And so many people I know who moved to Florida from New York or the Northeast regretted it because it was not what they thought. The people who live there understand it. It's not this big vacation. And people who live in these places have a greater understanding of what it's truly like to be there. And I think that's the case with Bermuda and Bermudians, right? We live it. We have to pay the excessive cost, right? It's not all fun and games, but when it is, there are things to do and to enjoy. People hear, oh, you're from Bermuda, and they automatically think beach. Not every Bermudian likes going to the beach. Golfers, not every Bermudian likes going to golf. One of my favorite pastimes in Bermuda was going to Hamilton Princess back in the day and listening to Robert and Jamie play live music, Robert Edwards. That was one of my favorite activities to do on a Saturday night in Bermuda. All right, folks, back to you. What can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? And the poll this morning, do you believe Bermuda currently has enough to entertain visitors? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let's go back to the audience. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, ask tourism to conduct a survey asking young people what they would like to see in Bermuda, have something new on a rolling basis. They do quite a lot of surveys. They do quite a lot of surveys, but I'd be interested. Maybe I can ask for access to some of their survey results, yeah. Shawnette Sumner says, visitors come for 5 days and never run out of options. Come back 3 years later and find even more options so they'll never be bored. Yeah. One of the things I didn't mention that I loved doing in Bermuda, I really did. And I'm not an outdoorsy person, but going for like a little hike through Tom Moore's jungle, coming out over Blue Hill, that's a really fun activity. It's really a cool activity in the right conditions for me. Another thing was for those who enjoy this kind of stuff, just taking a tour up at the National Museum of Bermuda. Like the information, jump on a bus with Titan Tours. They did the fish sandwich tour last year. That was actually pretty cool. There's things to do in Bermuda. Sean Smith says, in my younger days, Bermuda had a nightlife. I was able to go club hopping until 4 a.m. What nightlife is currently available for locals and visitors? I think when we speak about nightlife, we have to be honest there. Things changed. Things got violent. Who wants to run a nightclub knowing that young people have absolutely no respect for security, have no respect for other patrons? I think when we speak about nightlife, we have to be honest about why we have a lack of options now versus times prior. I don't think it's as cut and dry as just going away. There are reasons for that. So I remember when I was in college and I would come back, we had many options. And now, I mean, when you go along Front Street, there's restaurants and bars that may play a bit of music, but you just don't see the amount of options. Back in my day, you had Oasis and Club 40, even Captain's Lounge up on Reed Street. There were others as well, but you don't see that anymore, and it's understandable. But what else, audience? What can Bermuda do to pump life into the island? What are some things you see that happen in other jurisdictions that you're like, wow, we should bring this to Bermuda, or we should spin this, have a Bermuda spin-off? This would make sense for Bermuda to do. Is there anything that comes to mind that you like to do in your family or your friends when you go to other jurisdictions that you're like, you know what? This would make sense. I remember, I've said it on the show before, I'm not a drinker, but being the headquarters for Bacardi, a worldwide brand, and then the home of Black Seal, I thought a rum festival would have made sense back in the day. But who am I? Shawnette Sumner says Bermuda has enough talent for restaurants to have local talent at least 3 nights a week. Bermuda also needs a venue for older people to actually dance. You know, I was speaking to a IB exec about that, and they explained to me why a venue for older people to dance wouldn't last, and really broke it down to me. Said, we get excited about the new shiny toy. We go out, start going a few times, and then eventually we get tired because of something someone said earlier. You start to see the same people, and it becomes boring. And that's why it's hard to have an establishment in a small jurisdiction like that. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I had that conversation a few years ago. Dorian says there are loads of things to do in Bermuda during the daylight hours. Tourists and expats love it and don't complain. It's only us Bermudians that complain that there is nothing to do. Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. Because remember last year, there was the TikTok about the expat nurse at the hospital who made a TikTok video, and Bermudians got all in their feelings because she said, oh, it's boring. It's nothing to do. Spoke about how bad the weather is during the winter months. And I mean, it was a takedown of Bermuda from this expat. And I just think that she was sold something that wasn't accurate. And instead of me getting upset with this young lady, I actually arranged to meet her and a colleague, and we sat down at Botanical Gardens and we had a conversation. And I understood everything she was saying. For me, I've lived in 7 states and various cities, and then obviously being Bermudian, lived in Bermuda. Every last place I've lived in is very different and has something different to offer. Very different to offer. And every place I've lived in, probably except New York City, people were very critical of the offerings for locals in terms of what they're like in Rhode Island. What's there to do in Rhode Island? I'm like, I love Rhode Island. It's the ocean state. The restaurants. Newport, Rhode Island is probably one of the most beautiful places in the world to me. Right? You can rent those little car buggies and take tours around the entire island of Newport. Well, I call it an island because you go over bridges to get there, but around Newport. In Florida, it was touristy, but people complained. Like, all it was sun and beaches, kind of like Bermuda. Oh, it's something for people to come and visit and enjoy. Anyway, folks, what else? What can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? What ideas do you have? If you were in charge of tourism today, what would you say we need? Is it ATVs? Do you think we need some ATV riding? Do you think what's that stuff called where zip lining? Do we need the zip lining? People have been trying that for years, right? What is something you believe would pump life into Bermuda? Renee Sherilyn says, everyday boring, already done Bermuda over and over, so it's repetitive. Implement something exciting, done all of that. Tourists are interested, it's all new for them. I fly away whenever possible. So I go to the range repetitively and I enjoy doing it. Now, I do try different restaurants, but I go to the Beltline repetitively. Is it a matter of doing the same thing over and over, or is it a matter of getting tired of doing what you do? I don't get tired of going to the range right now. I don't get tired of going on the Beltline right now. The restaurant part, it gets expensive, right? But I take your point. I do take your point. Visitors are just coming for a short time. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, I said for years that we need to find a buyer for Caroline Bay that can bring cruise ships and create an experience for their passengers and those living on island. Think Disney. Okay. Shonette Sumner says, I disagree with the executive person. Young people don't actually dance. What they do is X-rated. Oh. 50s and noodles still dance, and many in their 70s and 80s still caught a rug, but nowhere to go. No, I think the point the exec was making is, again, you open a spot. It's happened, right? You open that spot, people will go. But I don't think people understand the business side. You're not going enough to keep that business alive, right? So you die off. Again, you get tired of seeing the same people over and over and over, right? So one-off parties are great, but for an establishment to exist, it needs to be open and full on almost a daily basis. Traveling Trotty says, what can we do to pump more life into the island? Turn the old airport into a convention center. I mean, what are they doing with it? I think we spoke about that years ago. Maybe a convention center and hotel down there. We spoke about that years ago. Maybe we'll reach out to Skyport and ask them what are the plans. Maybe they've shared that with the old airport. All right, so you're 50-50. There's too many of you tuned in. We need some more responses to the poll. Do you believe Bermuda currently has enough to entertain visitors? 1 for yes, 2 for no. For me, I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with yes. I do believe Bermuda has enough to entertain visitors. I do. And I say that because of what Renee Shallon said. Tourists are interested in all that's new for them. I haven't even mentioned Crystal and Fantasy Caves. Stuff like that. My niece, my 3-year-old niece, you could take her to the aquarium every week and she would have a blast doing the same thing over and over and over. When she comes to Atlanta, I know where I got to take her. Georgia Aquarium. There are people in Georgia who literally go to the aquarium weekly. So I'm with Shawnette Sumner. I'm with her about a club that I believe there is a crowd and people who will go every week just to get out and enjoy, because I'm like that, folks. I literally go to the range at least minimum once a week. I go to the Beltline at least minimum twice a week. Bermuda has a lot to do. I believe it. And if you feel like it doesn't, then it's our responsibility to fix that. So thank you for filling out the poll. So let's look at the poll results. For those tuning in on the radio, the poll was, do you believe Bermuda currently has enough to entertain visitors? 73% say yes, 27% say no. And we've got Dorian says, does the BTA have a list of things to do in Bermuda itemized categories? I believe they did. I believe they did. We've got a lot to do in Bermuda. We just have to be, I guess, a bit more open in terms of how we look at it. Sometimes we have to look at it from the visitor's perspective, right? We have to look at what they want and not what we want. However, a lot of visitors want to do what locals want to do. And if you create the experiences with locals in mind, you'll have a business that will last beyond tourism season. All right, folks, that's your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let's go to show them some love. Then we'll see what days of the year is. I don't know what days of the year is yet. And don't forget, we've got a very important guest. One of Bermuda's intellectuals, young intellectuals. We've got Ywione Darrell coming up. So you don't want to miss this conversation. But let's show Titan Express and Secure some love.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
All right, audience. I don't think there's anything fun here. You've got National Biscuit Day, National Heat Awareness Day, National Paperclip Day, National Alligator Day. We've got Snail Day. But I want to ask you, audience, answer this question. How do you deal with excessive heat? Since it's National Heat Awareness Day, how do you deal with excessive heat? Are you an air conditioning person? Are you a person who prefers the shade and natural like breeze? Do you prefer driving the car with the AC or windows down? Do you prefer fan and windows open in the house? How do you deal with excessive heat? For me, soon as the sun goes down and it's still hot, open the sunroof, wind the windows down, and drive. I really do, as I've gotten older, appreciate the natural breeze and air. At home, I'm still traumatized. I tried to open my place when it started getting hot, and it was pollen season, and all the pollen got inside my apartment, so I'm a bit traumatized with that. But how do you deal with excessive heat? What would you say is something you do? Are you an AC person? Nicole Walker says, AC 100%. Okay. You know, it's hard to believe the AC wasn't always a thing, right? You ask yourself, how did people survive? How did people survive, folks? We've got Charles H. Jefferson II. He says AC all day, inside and in car. We've got Manuela says natural breeze at home or on the beach. We've got James Burgess, sometimes air conditioned home. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, folks. You know, I'm kind of frugal. So I try to be very, when I have guests, I'm more respectful. So I do try to use my AC, but man, I would rather not. Polly Rich, this is me, says at home, no clothes on. Yeah. We've got Dr. Anthony Richardson says, I love my convertible top down, natural breeze, AC. You know what scares me about a convertible? In the US, at least, driving on the highway and something falling and coming in the car from the car in front of you or a truck. Maybe I watch too many movies. All right, folks, let's take a quick break. We've got windows down in the house, AC. I have to breathe. Live if cold food and drinks. Love cold food and drinks, says Suzanne Ingham. Mark Arthur is celebrating 43 months as a member of the Daily Hour YouTube channel. He says AC all day. Folks, let's take a quick break. We've got Ywione Darrell. We're going inside the Bermuda Journal of Academic Research after this short break. You don't want to miss this conversation. Please stick with us. Get your comments ready. See how you can contribute to these esteemed academics. In the meantime, if you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We'll be back in a few.
Children love to play and have fun, and they love gifts even more, especially ones that they can enjoy and learn from. With Bermuda Trivia coloring books, kids can explore the island while they color, learn, and create. The perfect activity for fun and learning together. Available now.
Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms to learn more.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It. Freshness at your doorstep. Delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
What lasts isn't what you buy, but what it becomes. With the HSBC MasterCard credit card, every spend quietly adds to a story shaped by intention and offers what matters most. Support that meets you where you are. Protection that preserves what you choose. Confidence for the unexpected. Peace of mind wherever your story leads. Start your next chapter. Use your card today. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
I know you want to come get some. Playing around. Playing around. I got this. I got it, no doubt.
Ever taken medication and thought, why is this hitting me so hard? Or why isn't this doing anything at all? Here's something you may not know. Your body processes medication the same way it needs to process food, using enzymes. And these enzymes metabolize medication so it can be converted into its useful form or removed from your body. Pharmacogenetics looks at how your DNA influences the way your body metabolizes or breaks down medications. It helps explain why a drug that works well for one person causes side effects in another and barely works at all for someone else. That means the same pill at the same dose can feel very different from one person to the next. It's not about blame, it's not about doing something wrong, it's simply biology. And once you know what works best for you, medication decisions stop being guesswork and start becoming personalized.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here, folks. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to a Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, folks, let's jump right into it. Let's welcome our very special guest of the day. He is one of Bermuda's most brilliant young minds. Let's give a warm TDH welcome to Ywione Darrell. Oops, that's not the one. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, Ywione. Sorry about that, man. But they're going crazy for you now. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Wonderful to have you. Before we get into all the intelligent stuff, I got to ask you. This morning's question we had, what can Bermuda do to pump more life into the island? No, you're much younger than most of the audience. We're old. I'm just going to say we're old. So you're much younger than us. From a young person's perspective, what do you believe can be done to pump more life into Bermuda?
That's actually a really good question. I think, so to answer that, I would say that you have to look at what are the two big issues in Bermuda in terms of why we don't think we have enough activities to do and things like that. And I think the two big issues, well, they can be summarized into, I guess, the population. The population itself it's small and it's at a point where it's declining, and not just the size of the population, but also its composition. Like you mentioned earlier, the population's getting older, and we need to accommodate for having an older population and doing things that tend towards them. But I think we also have to have a serious conversation about, what does growth look like for Bermuda in terms of growing our population, either via attracting Bermudians back, young Bermudians back, or via attracting more expats to not just work on the island, but also to live and create opportunities for more tourism opportunities, more nightclubs or other activities like that. And I think that'll be those structural fixes would probably be better solutions than any sort of nightclub here, nightclub there sort of solution.
You must be related to Charles H. Jefferson II. He always said, like, he believes a root to some of our problems is that we need more people, right? And if we had more people, we'd actually have more solutions for a lot of the things we face. So definitely appreciate that. See, Charles H. Jefferson says, sounds like we need a master plan. Yeah, I think that's aligned with something. But one more question before we jump into the meat of it. I was asking the audience, we asked them, what do you do when dealing with excessive heat? And we've got a couple. Karen Simmons has said excessive heat, AC, especially at night, fan and natural breeze, windows all open. And then Renee Sherlin says, depends where you live. Ocean breeze is the best. Open that slide door and let that breeze flow. What do you do?
Well, my aunt is gonna tell me off for this because well, she knows I do it anyways, but I like to crank up the AC, especially after living in the UK for 4 years, and so because the heat's too much all year round, and so I like cranking up the AC, but I get in trouble a lot because sometimes I leave the window a little cracked open, and on top of that, I also have like the thickest blanket on top, so I tend to get, why are you turning on the AC if you're gonna just warm yourself back up with all these blankets and you're wasting it by having the window cracked open? But it helps me go sleep is my answer. So yeah, a little bit of AC, but then if I don't have AC, a good fan would always helps.
That's the thing about us humans. We do some contradictory stuff that makes sense to us. I love that about us. Yeah, we put it so cold that we need a blanket. Ywione, let's jump into today's conversation. So Ywione Darrell, co-chief editor of the Bermuda Journal, and I love it. I just absolutely love it, especially in a time where when you hear about what young people are doing, it's usually not positive stuff in our community. And I love that this platform, we do have conversations about the positive stuff that so many young people are doing. Let's speak to the audience. If it's someone's first time, obviously you've been on before, but maybe someone's first time tuning in. Just explain what inspired you and your team to create the Bermuda Journal of Academic Research, and why did Bermuda need a platform dedicated to local scholarship and research?
Yeah, of course. So the Bermuda Journal of Academic Research began in September 2024. And it came from a conversation that I was having with my co-chief editor at that time, Kaida Lanthier. We actually began having that conversation in February. And most of the time when someone's working on their dissertation, the immediate thought is not, how can I do more research? It's actually, how do I stop doing this? But I had the opposite sort of view on this. And so I started talking to Kaida, and when we sat down in September, later in the year, we put together the logo, we started doing all the work, recruiting the team, and fast forward to today, we have built quite a strong team. The team works very well. We give people tasks to do, and everyone sort of takes pride in the work that they do. And because of that, we've been able to do a lot of amazing things. Like last year, we had our first event overall, the procurement event, where we expected around 25 people, and we ended up having 40 to 50 people. So showing a lot of public engagement, and that wouldn't have happened without people like Kaida and Ayana helping us. But then on top of that, we've also launched our first edition in this past March on the 15th. And then we just launched last week an interview series called Expert Views with Trinidadian economist Marla Dukran. So we're doing a lot, and we have more to come.
Wonderful. Audience, and we'll get into something that's coming up soon with Ywione. But audience, I just want you to do something I've never asked you to do. Write some words of encouragement this morning in the comments, because I remember the first time you came, I was fascinated. I absolutely was. I never considered myself an academic, was never one. I was a very different child and then young adult. And I really greatly appreciate that there are young people who actually want to do this, to share this. And one of the goals of the journal is making research more accessible and relevant to Bermudians beyond academia. Why is that so important for national development and public conversation, Ywione?
Yeah. So my main reason is that I think that not just in Bermuda, but I think I speak to it. I say this about Bermuda because we don't have a a we have the Bermuda College, but we don't have a university like you would have in other countries. And from my perspective, the view on education in Bermuda is very much it's a means to an end. So we go to school, we get a degree, and we use that degree to go get a good job. And then after that, that's when your formal education stops. I think that it's a cheap way of looking at education. And I think it's harmful, one, because of policy development. We always say that, for example, the government hires a lot of consultants from overseas, and those consultants don't have the perspectives and the insights of what Bermuda truly is and what the solutions that we need. And the obvious solution to that obviously must come from endemic research. And we won't get that if we treat education and research as things that are only a way of ticking off a box so that you can get a job. But on top of that, I think it goes beyond just policy, but it also filters into how our youth appreciate education. And we're embedding a lot of this into our mindset at the journal. Typically, with a research journal, you're only focused on tertiary education and tertiary research, tertiary level research. For us, we're looking at how we can build up the support for people doing senior researchers, but a key thing is supporting the academic journey, not just at university, but at high school, and hoping that that trickles down towards the attitudes that we see towards education in middle school and elementary school.
Interesting. The journal takes a multidisciplinary approach, bringing together different fields of study. Why was it important to encourage collaboration across disciplines rather than keeping research in silos?
Well, nothing good ever happens in silos, I guess you could say, right? And this because when it's similar to what people would refer to as being in a silo on your phone, on the internet, right? When you are stuck with one track of thought, you don't have that development. You just stay in your ways, and that's becomes all you know is the world around you. And that's not what we were really chasing. We weren't chasing this idea of encouraging uh, more consistent mindsets that all believe the same thing and encourage people to we want to encourage people to expand their horizons, and that's what we get from a multidisciplinary journal. We saw this especially last year with our procurement event, where we had researchers like Franco Harris, Kariko Weldon, and Daniel Kavanaugh, who came from different disciplines and covered different topics, and we saw quite amazing engagement across these three different areas. And we look to produce more events and conversations like this, because this is actually how we think that we get much better outcomes for Bermuda and Bermudians.
Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Ywione about the Bermuda Journal of Academic Research, please send your questions and comments through, or any words of encouragement. Now, you're currently seeking submissions for volume 2. What kind of research students or professionals are you hoping will contribute, and what topics are you especially interested in seeing explored?
Yeah. So the way that our journal works is that we have two sections. We have an aspiring researcher section, and we have a peer-reviewed section. The aspiring researcher section is targeted mainly towards undergraduate and high school or research papers. So for high school, this could include your IB extended essays or IAs, and for AP, in the AP system, this would be like an AP capstone research paper. For undergrad, this would be either an extended essay or a dissertation. And once again, this aspiring researcher section is very much tailored towards developing the individual as a researcher, helping put their insights out there so that people can read them and potentially begin this mentorship process between a more senior researcher and themselves. And then for this peer review, this is for senior researchers, postgraduate students, masters, PhDs, or existing professional researchers who want to submit papers and want to get their thoughts out there. And regarding discipline, it can be interdisciplinary. The key things that someone who's submitting to the journal for the next edition must know is that the deadline for submissions is the 1st of September. And as it is, we're getting a lot more submissions than we had even at this point last year. So it's looking quite successful. So we're excited to take your papers. There is no bounds to any topics that we are willing to read and go through. And we treat all these submissions fairly because we know that a lot of work goes into them, and we want to support you as researchers.
Indeed. Now, I said that we were going to come back to this. You spoke about some events that you've already had, but you also have an inaugural conference coming up in July. Now,
Yes.
what's the purpose of this conference? Who are some of the featured speakers, and what can attendees expect from this event?
Yes, definitely. So this conference is our first conference ever, and there's 4 key points that I go around telling everyone that, and you're going to like this because it has a little bit of alliteration in it. So there's 4 P's that I describe of why we want this conference to happen. First, we want to platform the journal. Second, we want to promote local researchers. Third, we want to procure more papers for the upcoming edition. And lastly, we want to partner and build relationships with individuals in the community. So across those 4 P's, we're looking to give the journal a stronger base in not just Bermuda, but also on an international stage. And so some key details about when and where the conference is going to happen. So it's happening on Friday, the 24th of July from 2 to 7 p.m. We are going to announce the location of the conference quite shortly. So please look out on our social media. And then regarding key speakers, we have secured our keynote speaker, Dr. Eva DeRosa. She's a cognitive neuroscientist and the dean of faculty at Cornell University. And most importantly, she's Bermudian, which is quite amazing, right? And this is quite core to our mission. We want to not just bring research to Bermuda shores, but we also want to show that one, research can be a feasible career, and that Bermudians can do amazing things in amazing places by doing research.
Indeed. And she has been on this show before. Awesome mind, awesome Bermudian, doing great things at the Ivy Leagues, Cornell University. Before you head out, Ywione, for aspiring Bermudian researchers or young academics who may feel hesitant about publishing or presenting their work, what would you say to encourage them to step forward and become part of this growing intellectual community?
Well, first I would say that the whole point of this journal is not just to force you out of your comfort zone, but it's to encourage you to try something new and know that you'll be supported. This is our whole ethos, that we're not just going to throw you off the deep end, because we know that, once again, it takes a lot of work to put together even the presentations for a paper that you've written. So we want to do our best to try to help academics, and we're trying to build an environment where senior researchers and young researchers can come together and work together to ensure that that next generation of researchers is supported and feels that support truly, and not just from researchers themselves, but also from other members in the community. And we have buy-in from members of the community. So just show out. And if you show out, well, then you will feel that support. Some key things before I sign off is that there's 4 different ways to sort of get involved for this for the conference this summer. So firstly, you can present your dissertations and theses, like I mentioned, and this will happen. To do so, you would have to go on our website and apply by the 3rd of July. If you're a corporate entity, you can send a delegation of interns and employees, and it will be $50 per person for those delegations. But if you're a research institution like the Bermuda College or BUEI or another charity, you can send individuals free of charge. Some of the other key things as well is that we have general admission tickets coming out on Sunday, the 31st, on PTIX. So please pay attention to those. Those would be $50 a pop. And then for students and seniors, they get a $25 discount. And we need volunteers as well for this. This is a massive undertaking that involves a bunch of logistics. We need mic runners and other things of that nature. So all of that will be very helpful for helping us run the event. And if for anyone else,
real quick, I'm sorry, just remind people when it takes place and where it takes place and the times, just so if they're interested in volunteering, they can cross-check dates.
So the 24th of July, and it's from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
All right. The 24th of July, is that on a Friday?
That is a Friday.
Friday, okay. I'll get back to you. I may volunteer, folks. I may volunteer. But I'm going to keep in contact with you between now and then. I can't say that I've got a boss to answer to, so I just can't say on a work day that I'm going to. But audience, honestly, if you're able, if you're available, and you want to contribute to the great work that these young people are doing, please reach out. How can people reach out? What's the best way to reach out to you guys?
So our 3 key platforms are Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can reach us at our email, researchjournalbda@gmail.com. You can go on our website, and if you go to bermudajournal.org/conference, that will have all the details for the conference. And
all right. We've got a question from Charles H. Jeffs II asking, are teachers in the public and private schools encouraging students to submit for the aspiring researchers category? If so, what guidance are you and others providing for them?
So thank you so much for that question. We actually had a meeting the other day about our plan for engagement with high schools. And so the procurement editor, Sophia Lomas, and outreach and partnerships editors, sorry, not Sophia, Ayana Lomas, and then Sophia, they are going to start reaching out to high schools with this plan that they've developed to not just say submit papers, but also try to build a relationship with schools to help build up their research programs inside the schools and make this a more coherent relationship with the entity, with local high schools.
All right. We've got Polly Rich says, we all know the sky's the limit. Continue looking up, keep thriving, growing with courage, purpose, and heart. And we also have Charles H. Jeffs II says, Ywione, please don't lose your passion for inspiring and promoting Bermudians. Regardless of where they are in the world, we will never get them to return to the island if we don't engage them. Any final words to those giving you kind words?
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. And thank you as well, Jamel, for having me today. Had a great time.
No problem. And we do have someone, and I'm going to do it. We've got Suzanne Ingham asking, can you put the email in chat, please? So let's put the email in the chat real quickly. So we'll put it on the screen. For those who are tuned in on radio, you can go on any of the platforms and see it, but the email is researchjournalbda@gmail.com. So anyone tuned in, you can see it on the platforms online. We've got Rosalind Famous asking, any chance of you using Facebook as a platform?
We're going to try to expand into Facebook. We're not as advanced with that social media platform at the moment. I'll say that.
I mean, he's not going to say it, but us old folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like old folks, us old folks, so we can help promote you. So, hopefully, let's get on Facebook and let us help you do the work. Thank you so much for what you're doing. We really mean that. Thank you for always reaching out and trusting our platform to engage your messaging. You do a wonderful job of presenting what it is you do. And I seriously will get back to you if I can assist in any way. Maybe I won't be able to do the entire time volunteering, but if I can contribute in some way on that day, I will. So send me any information that you think I need to know to present to my boss, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. You're welcome. Talk soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Ywione Darrell, folks. Bermuda Journal of Academic Research. Folks, did you enjoy that conversation? Isn't that an awesome young person? Is that not a brilliant young Bermudian? Man, I appreciate talking to people who just have so much love, life, and intellect to offer others. I really, really do. And we should be proud, because too often the headlines read, all that's bad and negative with young people. We've got to start platforming and highlighting brilliant young minds who are contributing. Yeah, Dr. Anthony Richardson says, good young minds at work. He meant good to see young minds at work. And then we've got Charles H. Jeff says, not as advanced with the platform. Yeah. It's amazing to hear brilliant mind, Facebook, not as advanced. Facebook's for us old folks. Come on now. Charles says, yes, he's inspiring and gives me hope. Absolutely. Gives us hope, folks. Let's take our final break. We're coming back after this break. I'll wrap it up, give my final thoughts on this morning's discussion and the conversation. Also, got that daily play for you. Got a daily play for you. Don't let yourselves down this morning. Stick with us.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Friesenbrook, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit friesenbrook.bm to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Ywione Darrell and everyone who's part of the Bermuda Journal of Academic Research. Folks, again, give us some love, show him some love. Make sure everyone you know, especially young people, have access to conversations like this. There's hope. There are opportunities. We need more like him. So make sure you give a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Just make sure everyone you believe should have access to conversations like this has them. All right. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to the BAC group of companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, it is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Bermuda Trivia coloring books available. Bermuda Trivia crossword puzzles available. Bermuda Trivia 7 editions of the trivia game available. And Bermuda Trivia's big hit shoe buy, which sold out at Christmas, will be dropping again in June. There will be a new edition of it, the summer edition, which to me is probably the most fun and creative game from Bermuda Trivia yet. So you want to make sure you have it. There will be limited editions again. So you want to get yours as soon as they drop. Follow Bermuda Trivia on all social media platforms to make sure you have access to know when it will be available. All right, audience, are you ready? Some things you should know. It's easy, so don't let yourselves down. Do not let yourselves down. Here we go. What is the world's largest traditional brick and mortar retailer? No, it is not Macy's, Charles. No one got this. Yes, Dorian, it's Walmart. It's Walmart. No. Walmart is the world's largest traditional brick and mortar retailer. However, based on overall company revenue and market capitalization, what retailer claims the top spot among all global retail-oriented companies? You know this one. Renee Charlene Simmons. Amazon. Torian, Amazon. Suzanne says, what is brick and mortar? Brick and mortar, what is that, Janelle? It's a building. Yeah, but Amazon is the largest, but that's why I said brick and mortar, because all of you would have said Amazon. So but I'm glad Charles said Macy's. That means it was not as easy as I thought. Anyway, folks, we got to let you go. But before we do let you go for the weekend, I'll give you some final thoughts. And here are my final thoughts on this morning's discussion. I absolutely love that we are able to have conversations about Bermuda. As mentioned, for years, Bermuda has battled that perception that it's for the newlyweds and nearly dead. Fair or unfair? Many visitors and locals alike say Bermuda lacks nightlife and entertainment options. And the question isn't whether Bermuda needs more life. It's really what that life should look like. We understand Bermuda is a small island with a conservative culture and community values that many residents want to protect. And not every entertainment option works for every destination. Some people immediately think casinos or nightclubs or adult entertainment or late operating hours. Others believe more life doesn't necessarily mean more nightlife. It could mean more live music, cultural festivals, food festivals, beach concerts, comedy shows, arts and theater. sports events, street festivals, night markets, waterfront entertainment district. Keep in mind the entertainment isn't just for tourists. If locals won't support it, visitors won't either. Bermuda has often struggled with the balance between protecting culture and community values while embracing innovation and new experiences. The hard truth is that many Bermudians have tried new concepts only to find insufficient support from residents. And another reality is young Bermudians often leave the island looking for experiences they feel aren't available in Bermuda. So we must ask ourselves, are Bermudians willing to accept the changes required to create a more vibrant destination? And can we make the most of what already exists in Bermuda? Let's give that some thought as we head into the weekend. As far as the conversation with Ywione, I'd encourage everyone who listened to that young man this morning to find a way to support it, to share it, to give back. It's all good saying or jumping on the negativity when it comes to young people. But let's jump on and support the positive. It's needed. And that support can create even more young people like him. Give you some daily inspiration. And if you don't have the book yet, please, folks, go get yourself The Journey Within. Jamel Hartman, that is me. And let's turn to a page. I love this one. This is one of my favorites. And this was when I was fired from the Bermuda Tourism Authority. And I know people keep saying, stop saying it is what it is. But it's one of my favorites because I didn't really wait for someone. And there was a point where people were saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I don't come from that space. I don't come where I wait for people to do stuff for me. So this quote really came from deep within. And it says, opportunities don't come to those who wait. They come to those who create. So for years, people would say good things come to those who wait. Blah, blah, blah. No. They come to those who create. Folks, gotta let you go now. But do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great weekend. We are out. Peace.